Okay, let's dive in. Picture this. Just a normal training session, seems routine, and then suddenly it just erupts.
Yeah.
Alina, she's pushing herself, and boom, this massive surge of power. We're talking blinding golden light, a shockwave that, like, cracks the ground.
It's incredibly dramatic, raw power, totally untamed.
Exactly. And, that raw, dangerous moment. That's really our starting point today for this deep dive into the Rift Chronicles.
And what hits you immediately is not just the power itself, but Michael's reaction, his concern. It's palpable.
Totally.
The scene just throws you right into their world where having abilities isn't just cool, it's volatile, dangerous even to the person wielding it. Sets the stage perfectly.
It really does. Because today, we're not just, scratching the surface. We're going deep, looking at the lives, the potential futures of these characters based on these moments from their story. Forget your 9-to-5 grind. These guys are dealing with immense power, ancient forces waking up, threats blurring realities. So our mission really is to explore the kind of lifestyle you'd have to adopt when, your Tuesday might involve dodging interdimensional beings.
And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does normal even mean for someone like Alina or Michael, someone who can crack the earth or feels this pull towards cosmic events? It challenges our whole idea of just living day to day in their world.
So let's get into that. The reality of having that kind of power, the excerpts we looked at, they really hit home how much of a burden it is.
Definitely.
Alina's strength, it's growing, sure. But it costs her. She says it herself. Every time I use it, it takes more from me. It's described as like slowly consuming her body and soul.
That's a heavy price. And this idea, this trade-off, it's so compelling, right? You see it a lot in these kinds of stories. Amazing power almost never comes free.
Never.
It forces her to constantly weigh the cost, which adds this layer of internal conflict. She's not just powerful, she's struggling with that power.
And Michael's reaction just makes it heavier. He's not just like, wow, cool power. He's scared. He feels helpless against her power.
Yeah.
Thinking, I didn't know if I could protect her from what she had become. That says so much about how isolating these abilities can be.
That feeling of inadequacy, watching someone you care about wield something so immense, maybe even dangerous to themselves. That's a powerful emotional anchor for the story.
It is.
And it also, maybe subtly, points towards Michael's own journey, right? That mention that their powers might clash and fuse. It suggests his own abilities, maybe dormant now, could be vital later, a shared destiny, perhaps.
Which flows perfectly into the rift appearing. I mean, this isn't some subtle thing. It's huge, world-shaking. And then these ancient figures, the sentinels of Ethelora, just appear.
Talk about making an entrance, and what they say carries so much weight that the rift is a test, a trial for those worthy enough to pass through. Suddenly, it's not just a weird space event. It's got purpose. It's judging them. And then telling Michael flat out, you're not yet ready. Oof. Instant obstacle. What makes someone worthy?
But Alina, she's not having it, especially when it's aimed at Michael. Her response is just pure defiance. We're not afraid of a trial, she says. We've come this far.
And we won't back down. Yeah, it shows her resilience, absolutely. And their unity in that moment, facing down these intimidating figures, that bond is clearly going to be crucial.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Then things get even weirder. This voice, right out of the rift itself, booms out, "The child of Olympus must prove his worth."
Whoa.
Directly calling out Michael's background. Suddenly it's about destiny, lineage, some kind of predetermined path.
Yeah, the whole chosen one idea, it's familiar, sure, but effective. It instantly raises the stakes. And mentioning Olympus specifically, that hints at a whole mythology, a backstory connected to these rifts. You immediately start asking questions.
And what's really telling is how the sentinels react after the voice speaks. They go from being these stern judges to almost respectful.
Reverent, almost.
Yeah, it shows the rift's power, right? But maybe even more, it shows Michael's connection to it, like some higher cosmic authority just stepped in.
Exactly. It establishes this kind of power hierarchy in their universe. Michael's lineage isn't just backstory, it matters on a fundamental cosmic level. The rift itself seems to recognize him.
And speaking of what he might become, Michael gets this vision, sees his future self just radiating power in front of the rift.
But it's not just a power fantasy.
No, not at all. He feels the weight of it, the responsibility, the fear. It's a glimpse of the sheer burden that comes with that kind of potential.
It's a smart narrative move.
Yeah.
Shows the potential, yes, but also warns about the cost, keeping him human, Even with godlike power, there's fear.
The vision also tells him something crucial about the rift itself. It's not just a tear. It's a force, something ancient, something dangerous, and it's actively pulling everything toward it.
That changes things, doesn't it? It's not passive, it's active, maybe even malevolent. They're not just trying to pass through a door, they might be fighting against being sucked in.
Right, and Alina gets it straight away. Her conclusion is stark. Control it, or be consumed. No middle ground.
A terrifying ultimatum. And that realization probably pushes them forward, right? It makes them seek out answers, which leads them to that chamber.
Yeah, the one with the glowing stone pedestal and the book inside. The whole place feels important, like it's pulsing with energy when Alina touches the book.
Like finding a key.
Exactly, a conduit, a key to something far greater. Like there's this vast knowledge or power just waiting.
And the fact that it reacts specifically to Alina, it reinforces that connection she has, that both she and Michael are somehow central to all this ancient mystery.
Michael certainly feels it, that overwhelming sense of destiny washing over him, feeling locked into place at the center of something vast and powerful, any idea of a normal life, just evaporating.
That feeling of being swept up, it's classic destiny narrative. It marks that shift, from regular person, relatively speaking, to someone pivotal. Their lifestyle is now dictated by these huge events.
But it's not all cosmic doom and gloom. We see their support system kicking in too. Alina manages to get her hands on these rare rift crystals.
How'd she manage that again?
Oh, she just says, I borrowed them. Don't ask how. Let's just say I'm very persuasive, which tells you a lot about her resourcefulness.
Yeah. Willing to bend the rules. That's a survival skill in their world for sure.
Yeah.
Getting what you need however you can. Adaptability.
And then there's Leon, Michael's dad. Turns out he's not just sitting on the sidelines. He's been mastering energy techniques, glowing runes, binding enemies. The whole family's gearing up.
That's fantastic.
And he says I'm not just here to watch you save the world, Michael. I'm in this fight with you. Such a powerful moment of solidarity.
It really underscores the importance of those bonds. Their strength isn't just individual power. It's the support, the shared commitment. And Leon developing his own skills. That hints maybe society itself has to adapt to these changes.
And Alara, the mom, she's bringing her tech skills to bear. Running simulations, analyzing threats. Strategy is just as important as punching things, apparently.
Well, yeah. It shows you need a mix of approaches. Analysis, strategy, power. It's not just one thing. You need diverse skills to tackle these kinds of threats.
We even see them training together, practicing, getting better as a team. It's like a family bonding activity, but with universe-saving stakes.
They're being proactive, not just waiting for things to happen, but preparing, as individuals and as a unit.
Still, amidst all that tension, they find these quiet moments, like just looking at the stars and Michael reflecting, this is why we fight, not just for the people, but for the beauty of the world itself.
Those moments are crucial. They ground the conflict, right? Remind them what's actually at stake beyond just survival, gives them hope, perspective.
But that peace doesn't last. There's this nagging feeling like something was watching them. Weird weather patterns, too. Michael starts thinking, maybe it's not random, maybe it's signals. He even wonders if an AI is messing with timelines.
That constant sense of being watched, of potential manipulation, that adds a whole psychological layer. You'd be constantly on edge, questioning everything. And an AI, that's a very different kind of threat. Advanced, potentially invisible.
And those invisible threats become real when they meet Reyes and the Resistance. Shows they need allies. Reyes gives that chilling warning about the AI. It isn't just a machine, it's everywhere, in everything. It'll be watching, listening.
Makes your skin crawl and highlights another key survival tactic, collaboration. You can't face something like that alone. You need allies, a community.
We see them taking on these really dangerous missions, too, like sneaking in to disable a city's communications hub. High-risk, covert stuff becomes part of their life.
It shows that shift, right? From just defending themselves to actively taking the fight to the enemy. Constant risk, needing sharp thinking under pressure. That's their new normal.
Then Alina leaves. Suddenly. Just a letter saying she's gone to train with the Sentinels. That throws a wrench in things, creates so much uncertainty. Hints at a much deeper conflict coming, maybe.
Yeah, her seeking out the Sentinels suggests she knows she needs more power, more understanding to face whatever is escalating. It also means their paths might split, at least for a while, as they both level up in different ways.
And speaking of leveling up, these powerful artifacts start showing up. An adaptive spear, an energy-resistant shield, some kind of mysterious orb. It's like the universe is saying, okay, new year required for the next boss level.
Exactly. The scale of the conflict is increasing, so they need better tools. It hints at this world having a deep history, forgotten tech or magic now becoming vital again.
Leon drives that home with his warning. The risks are changing, escalating, going from like F-rank threats way up to SSS and now whispers of something even beyond that.
It's a terrifying acceleration. The goalposts keep moving faster and faster. They have to constantly adapt just to keep up with the sheer power curve of the threats.
And we see it happen. Michael and Leon face something coming out of a rift described as a creature unlike anything they'd faced before. It's a clear sign. Welcome to the next tier of danger.
Encounters like that push their boundaries, force them to confront the totally unknown. They can't rely on past experience anymore.
Then they find a rift anchor, this weird crystalline obelisk. Suddenly, it's not just about fighting monsters. It's about understanding the mechanics behind the rifts. Needs a more strategic mind.
Right. It suggests brute force isn't enough. You need to understand how these things work to actually deal with them effectively.
And Michael starts suspecting it's not random.
Right.
That maybe they're being manipulated by something insidious. Who's pulling the strings?
That realization changes the game entirely. Now they have to look beyond the immediate chaos and try to find the puppet master. Adds a whole layer of intrigue.
Then they meet this herald, calls himself the gatekeeper. And he questions why they're even fighting, forces them to really think about their purpose, their motivations.
It's a philosophical test almost. Makes them define what they stand for beyond just reacting to threats. Where do they fit in the bigger cosmic picture?
And just when you think things couldn't get weirder, they find a hidden lab. Inside, a massive containment field holding something alive. Classic cliffhanger material, hinting at deeper secrets, bigger conspiracies.
Huge foreshadowing there. What's in the tank?
Ow.
Ally. Enemy. Something else entirely. Massive suspense.
Then they finally confront the Sovereign. And its first words are basically, you think you can challenge the infinite with scraps. Puts their power level in perspective, doesn't it?
Ouch. Yeah, highlights the sheer power gap. They're up against ancient cosmic forces that see them as insignificant. Underscores the immense challenge.
They manage a victory, but it feels temporary. And it comes to that chilling line, your world will fracture. A win, maybe, but with a dark omen attached.
That fragility is key. It wasn't a decisive win. The threat lingers, and the consequences could be catastrophic down the line.
They realize the Sovereign isn't really gone, just delayed. And worse, it's watching them now, adapting. No time to relax.
That constant pressure, knowing your enemy is learning, evolving, it means they have to keep evolving too. No room for complacency at all.
So they go after the Sovereign's core shards. It gives them a concrete goal, at least, a path forward, even if it's incredibly dangerous.
A defined objective is good, but it also shows the threat is fragmented, spread out. Requires a major coordinated effort to track them all down.
Which leads them to form this mobile resistance. They need to be flexible, work together to counter an enemy that's potentially everywhere.
It's a smart strategic move. Acknowledges the nature of the threat. Needs a dynamic, networked response, not a static defense.
But then Sarah points out finding the shards is one thing. How do you actually destroy the Sovereign? That question hangs heavy. It's not just a fetch quest.
Exactly. Need the what's and the how. Forces them to think bigger, beyond just collecting the pieces. What's the endgame strategy?
And naturally, while they're figuring this out, they have to escape a collapsing vault. Just another Tuesday, right? Constant danger.
Keeps them on their toes. Underscores the risks involved at every step. Quick thinking is essential.
Then, completely out of left field, a shard flares up, and bam! They're teleported to some alien landscape. This just blows the doors wide open, right? Other dimensions, powers beyond anything they knew.
Totally changes the scale. Suddenly, it's not just about their world. They're part of a much bigger, stranger cosmos. New civilizations, new rules, new dangers.
On this alien world, they meet people like Arental of the Zalari Conquered. He helps them, but also drops this bombshell about a bigger cosmic war, about the Void Lords.
So the rifts, the Sovereign, they're just pieces in a much larger intergalactic conflict. The stakes just went from world-ending to potentially universe-ending.
And Michael gets a crucial lesson here. Controlling the rift's power isn't just about will. He has to face his own deepest fears. It's an internal battle as much as an external one.
That adds real depth. Mastery isn't just about strength. It's about self-mastery. Understanding and overcoming your own limitations, your fears, is key to wielding that power responsibly.
Their journey takes them through the rift to the Outer Rim, kind of a lawless space frontier. They meet shady characters like Astrid, have to hustle for info and supplies.
Puts them in a different environment, less structure, more morally gray. Survival depends on wits, negotiation, maybe some compromise.
They find something called the Heart of the Fallen on a dangerous planet. This artifact reacts strangely, feels ancient and powerful, clearly important.
Another mysterious object, hints at forgotten history, maybe connecting to the Void Lords or something even older. Holds power, but probably danger, too.
They meet Aloria, who talks about growth, purpose, shows Michael a vision of the cosmic web, this sense of universal interconnectedness.
Provide some context, maybe guidance, a sense that there's an underlying order even amidst all the chaos. Gives his struggle a potential meaning within that larger pattern.
But just as they get some answers, the threat ramps up again. A rift is growing, threatening the very foundation of existence. It never stops escalating.
The responsibility on their shoulders just keeps getting heavier. It's not just saving people anymore, it's potentially saving reality itself.
Then they encounter this cold, detached voice, taunting Michael, talking about the rifts, his power. It confirms someone is manipulating things. A puppet master.
Finding the intelligence behind it all, that adds a whole new dimension. It's not just forces of nature, it's strategic, maybe even malevolent intent.
But Michael pushes back. He defies this voice, realizes the rift itself isn't the real enemy, just the tool, the challenge. It feels like a moment of him taking control.
Huge turning point, shifting perspective from fighting the phenomenon to fighting the manipulator, asserting his own agency.
He even confronts a figure who seems to be that puppet master. Has to wrestle with the idea that maybe he's just been a pawn.
That's got to be unsettling. Question your own choices, your own path. Was it all predetermined by someone else?
Then there's a vision of a woman with familiar eyes, maybe representing balance within him, and Hercules warns him others want the rift's power too, reminders of inner resources and outer threats.
Right. Got to keep that internal balance, but also watch your back, because everyone wants a piece of that power.
He gets guidance from someone named Caliph about facing fear to unlock potential. Faces a rift guardian that tests his deepest anxieties. More trials, more personal growth needed.
It keeps coming back to that, doesn't it? Inner strength is inseparable from outer power. You have to conquer yourself to conquer the challenges.
Michael accepts his path, vows to face whatever comes, and Lucius reminds him, don't go it alone. Trust your allies. Need that individual resolve, but also that teamwork.
Absolutely. It's that balance again. Personal responsibility, but knowing you're stronger together.
They run into a dark figure after the Heartstone, and the ensuing fight reveals just how powerful this artifact is. It's clearly a major prize.
Yeah, the conflict itself proves its significance. Everyone wants it, suggesting it holds some key power or knowledge.
Thaddeus warns them, though. The Heartstone isn't straightforward. There's more to it, a hidden source of its power, more layers of mystery.
Always more questions. Suggests its origins, its true purpose are complex, maybe dangerous, not just a simple power-up.
Michael's resolve just hardens. Protect the world, face the looming bigger conflict. You feel the stakes climbing towards something massive.
He's fully embracing that central role now, ready for whatever the next stage of this cosmic war brings.
Which apparently involves navigating a dangerous auction in some shady part of the galaxy, seeking knowledge, influence. Meets cryptic people like Arcturus and Varkas.
Shifts gears again. Now it's about intel, alliances, navigating treacherous social landscapes, a different kind of battlefield.
Someone warns him, as he arrives, this auction planet is a pit of secrets and corruption. He's walking into a viper's nest.
Yeah, sets the mood. High stakes, hidden agendas, danger lurking behind polite facades.
And sure enough, he's facing mercenaries, dealing with portals, unseen enemies. The action just follows him everywhere.
Constant threats, needing to be ready for anything, known or unknown, no rest for the cosmically destined.
There's a tense standoff. Arya voices doubts. Can Michael control his power? Do they even know who the real enemy is? Tests their trust.
Introduces that internal friction. Can they hold together under pressure? Are they sure they're fighting the right fight?
They manage to escape, using drones for a diversion. Shows they're getting smarter, using tactics, not just raw power.
Adaptability again. Using tech, thinking strategically to overcome superior numbers or force.
Then Michael starts working with these divine beast eggs, tapping into spiritual energy. Hints at a massive power jump, like world-shaping potential.
This feels like a major evolution, moving beyond known limits, tapping into something fundamental, maybe even primordial. Creatures capable of incredible feats.
He eats these special fruits, boosts his spiritual awareness, like he's preparing for something truly transformative.
Yeah, embracing these unconventional paths to power suggests he's ready for a radical shift in his own being.
And it happens. He makes contact with some ancient structure, gets visions, warnings, The divine beast eggs hatch right then, merging their power with the structure and with him.
Whoa. Okay, so that's a huge moment. A direct connection to ancient energies, fused with these powerful new allies. He's becoming something more.
The beasts become his allies, and they head towards the heart of the universe. His purpose feels clearer now, not just reacting, but seeking fundamental understanding.
That's a shift from defense to exploration, right? Seeking the core of existence itself. A truly epic quest.
And he gains the ability to create, shaping realms with rings, using the power of something called the Nexus, growing special trees, making new resources. He's like a creator god now.
Wow, okay, manipulating reality itself, that's god-tier power. Huge responsibility comes with that, shaping the very fabric of existence.
But just as he's getting the hang of it, there's a disturbance. The divine beasts freak out. Something ancient is waking up, disrupting his new creations.
Of course. Just when you think you've reached the peak, an even bigger threat emerges. Something ancient, maybe primordial, challenging his newfound power.
Michael's own awareness expands, connects to creation itself. The beasts sense the change in him. They know bigger challenges are coming. He's transcending, well, everything he was before.
His evolution is accelerating, moving beyond mortal limits, becoming something intrinsically linked to the cosmos, and anticipated confrontations on that scale.
He meets these ancient entities guarding the Nexus. They're skeptical. Can he handle this power? Does he have the right? He has to convince them, prove his worthiness.
Guardians of immense power, rightly cautious. He has to demonstrate not just strength, but wisdom, responsibility to earn their trust.
He manages it, wields the Nexus power, but realizes the war for the Nexus. It's only just beginning. It's not the end of the story. It's a new, even bigger chapter.
Mastered the power, only to realize that puts him at the center of an even larger conflict for its control. The stakes just keep rising.
So he starts thinking bigger, planning interstellar travel, advanced starships for defense, protecting his creations on a galactic scale.
Makes sense. If you're creating realms, you need to defend them. Thinking like a leader, a protector on a cosmic stage now.
And then he returns home to his original world, carrying all of this unimaginable power, changed fundamentally, reunites with his family, and they're just stunned.
That homecoming must be incredibly surreal for everyone. And you have to imagine coming back with that kind of power. I mean, the things he's probably seen, the artifacts he might possess. It's like a single item could probably buy the entire planet several times over. How do you even relate back to normal life after that? The gap, financially, experientially, it's immense.
Yeah, how do you bridge that? And right on cue, a mysterious figure shows up, reveals this even larger, ancient conflict Michael's destined to be part of, and warns him. Your creations, your family, they're targets now.
So the cosmic war is coming home. Makes it deeply personal, raises the stakes impossibly high. Protect the universe, protect your family.
He resolves to face it, gathers a diverse team to stabilize one of his created rings that's under attack. Someone is manipulating the very code of his creations.
Shows his leadership again. Building a team, facing sophisticated threats that attack the foundations of his power, his enemies are clearly advanced.
They handle the immediate crisis, stabilize the ring, but everyone knows this is just one battle in a much longer war. The journey is far from over.
A brief respite, maybe, but the larger conflict looms. They bought some time, nothing more.
So Michael starts thinking even bigger, planning outposts across realms, beacons of cooperation, using his resources, his influence, to build something lasting. He's really shifting from warrior to, well, empire builder.
It's a natural progression, maybe, from protecting to building, using his power not just defensively, but proactively to create stability, prosperity on a grand scale.
But he's also trying to balance it, preparing these really meaningful gifts for his parents, for Alina, acknowledging their support, their shared future amidst all the cosmic chaos.
Trying to hold on to those human connections, grounding himself. Those gifts, likely reflecting his new reality, but meaningful on a personal level, would be symbolic of bridging that immense gap we talked about.
He's definitely transitioning, securing loyalty, making alliances, using the divine beasts as guardians, symbols of his power, learning the ropes of ruling.
It's a complex role. Requires diplomacy, strategy, not just strength. Integrating power symbols like the beasts. Shows he understands the theater of leadership, too.
Then his father drops another hint. There's more potential sealed inside Michael, a heritage beyond Hercules, and it gets unlocked by the Eye of Eternity. His power becomes intertwined with the universe itself.
Just when you think he's peaked, unlocking an even deeper level of potential, tying him fundamentally to the cosmos. That's profound.
But the Eye amplifies everything. good and bad. So he has to face his own inner darkness, his fears in these trials inside a sanctum. Learns acceptance, wisdom. It's self-discovery on an epic scale.
The ultimate test, maybe. Wielding universal power requires confronting your deepest self. True strength isn't flawlessness, it's understanding and integrating your flaws.
He finds a relic, a map. Could unite the universe or destroy it. He chooses understanding, balance, not conquest. Defines his character right there.
A crucial choice. Shows his core motivation isn't domination, but harmony. Using power responsibly.
He senses this anomaly growing. It's a living entity, ancient, stirring. Realizes all the faction squabbles are just distractions from this huge impending cosmic rebirth. His perspective is truly universal now.
Seeing the biggest picture, understanding the grand cosmic cycles playing out, recognizing threats others miss because they're too focused on smaller conflicts.
And finally, there's this moment of quiet. He feels the universe itself communicating with him. Then he heads off into uncharted territory towards whatever comes next. A pause before the next great saga begins.
A sense of connection, readiness for the unknown. The journey continues, always expanding.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, the big themes really stand out, don't they? The incredible weight of power and responsibility, that pull of destiny, and how vital family and alliances are when you're facing threats that just keep getting bigger.
And what keeps you hooked is that constant evolution. The characters changing, the mysteries deepening Alina's powers, the Rift's secrets, the cosmic beings, and that feeling that the stakes can always get higher. It leaves so much room for possibility.
Yeah, and for you listening, think about it. These lives are so extreme, so far beyond our experience. Cosmic battles, reality shaping. Yet their struggles, responsibility, sacrifice, finding meaning when things feel overwhelming. You can relate to that on a basic human level. It really makes you consider how these extraordinary lives demand extraordinary ways of coping, of just being.
Which brings us to maybe one final thought to leave you with. We've seen constant escalation, constant adaptation. So are there any true limits to power, to responsibility? And when you're talking about protecting not just a world, but maybe the whole universe, what sacrifices might ultimately be demanded?
Heavy questions. Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.